It's a Monday. It's Monday malarkey. E-racing, the E tonight stands for España. Broadcasting from, I'm afraid, Mallorca Airport Terminal. I'm actually waiting for a flight. There we are. That's me cycling up the Captive for Mentor yesterday. If you were an RGT rider, of course, you will know that it was one of the real roads in RGT, wasn't it? So that was me yesterday. Today in the airport, waiting for a flight, commentating on this. 2 minutes 29 to go. Let's have a look at the course. It's a two-lake loop today. And no, it's not. It's the flat 8. Sorry, it's the flat 8. Now, the flat 8 isn't really flat. What it means is a flat 8 kilometres. That's even not true because there's a little lead in, as you can see from the map, and then it does 2 laps after that. So the first lap is actually 11 kilometres, and then 7 kilometres after that brings you up to about 18 kilometres overall. So you can see on the at the top of the graphic there, it says that 7.7 kilometres is the lap, and don't forget there is a lead in, which it says is 3.2, and you can also see the profile across the top. Now, this is reasonably flat, and what happens is basically when you're on the coast, it's flat. You go over the humps. Now, those are the kind of lips of where the lake is. So as you go in and out of the lake area, you go up and down those 2 dips. That's where we think the attacks will take place today. So look out for those. So basically, there's a lead in and then up and then to around the loop doing laps. You see the finish up there by the lake. This is the South Lake on IndieVelo Island. So, where are we at in the series so far? 2 races so far. The second series, quite interesting. I think between the Callus team and Electric Spirit, that's where we're going to see the challenges. Race 3R, R3R being the third. So those are the 3 big teams I think are really going to take this on. However, Pokemotion and Wahoo Racing getting involved now, so look out for those too. It's Tim Humpton, Morten Vang at the top, Electric Spirit, Callus team, Race 3R with Rob Miller, who is one of the great contributors to racing and a good friend from the USA at the top. In the Ladies League, Lisa S is 190 points, Eileen Davidson at 100, but remember that Lisa has ridden 1 more race and it's the best of 6 in that. Teams classification, you can see Callus, R3R, Electric Spirit are the top 3. Pokemotion coming in there though, still in touch, and I think even the IndieVelo Founders Club, if that really is a team in the true sense of the word, are just about in touch. Wahoo Racing, I think, playing a little bit of catch up. Look out for those. E-Cycle Club Denmark as well. Strong club, as are Pedalers, and they could still do well in this series, so look out for those. We're at the start and they're off. Here we go. Now remember, the pacer will run for 1 kilometre. You do not get next to the pacer, otherwise you will get braked, and everybody's staying off the pacer at the moment. Pacer starts at 30 kph, and I think this rider is about to get braked. There we go, bang, and the second one, and there we go. You do not overtake the pacer. That's what happens. You sit behind it. Lots of people overshooting there. Now the pacer will speed up over this first kilometre, up to 50 kph. See everybody going next to it, suddenly getting braked, beginning to realise, and it will all settle down now, and you can see the group just sitting off now as they allow the pacer to go off, knowing that it's not a good idea to overtake the pacer. Now 3 groups in this at the moment. We've got Group 1 is the pacer itself. Group 2 is the next bunch. Now we expect this to split up. 4 groups is telling no, the 4th group is actually a bot, so don't worry about that. Lisa in Group 3, Lisa will churn out the distance to get the points. Now this is fairly strung out, and they're doing 43 kph on the front, and this is what's causing the stretch. You can see that the pacer's up this pace, and not everybody kind of realises it is incremental. Now any minute now we are going to go through a couple of white sort of flames by the side of the road, and they will mark where the pacer drops off. Here they are. This is where the race is going to open up. The pacer will now die off, and you can go as fast as you like from now on, but you can overtake the pacer. Everybody should realise that, and I think it's an Electric Spirit rider who's at the front of the pack. In fact, there could be more than one. That's all white jerseys at the front, isn't it? And off the front is Zeb Norman, an Electric Spirit rider, as I said. Jan van der Linden just behind him. Rob Miller for R3R just behind him. Morten Veng and Tim Humpton, the 2 series leaders. Evan Oysterson and Ludwig Kohlberg. Ingmar van Beurs from Ratio Racing, of course. Clive Byron from OTR. Look how stretched that is. This is Zeb Norman doing the damage. Aleski Coleman joining in the fun and games at the front and really pushing off. He's from... Sorry, I beg your pardon. He's Aski Kalman is from one of the Callas riders, isn't it? I think Callas are really going for this. Then Danish as well, not riding for ECKD. We've got a couple of Norwegians in there with Evan Oysterson, Morten Veng, Americans, Tim Humpton and Rob Miller, of course. Matthias Back, also from Denmark. A couple of Swedes in there, Ludwig Kohlberg and one other. John Sammer in there for Poker Motion. I see also coming up. This is very, very stretched, and this has eked out some gaps very early in this race. I wasn't expecting this, I have to say. This front group, Zeb Norman, Morten Veng, Ateske Kalman, Ludwig Kohlberg in this group. A big gap back now to the others. It's really opening up. Look at that, and this is only a small group again. So these guys are going to fight to get back on the front group. I think they could just about do it working together. Looks like they're closing the gap there. Matthias Back now joining in and getting back on. Those 3 of those 4 riders now back in that group, giving us a decent sized group at the front, but they have got a long way on everybody else. Now we start the lap. We've had the lead in. We've done a couple of kilometres. We're into the lead in now. It's 15.4 kilometres to go, and this group is the selection on this first lap, already down to about 12 riders, I think, and that is going to, yes, it's 13 riders in fact. I think Tim Humpton off the front, so 14 riders altogether in this group. Tim Humpton, champion of the last series, of course. Tim for Electric Spirit doing really, really well. Morten Veng and Tim having some great battles, but the Callas riders, I like the new OTR kit. I haven't seen that before. Well done, James. This is a bit overdue, but I do like that. Sorry, interrupting, but I haven't. Callas putting out some strong players, and I think Callas are going to be a big feature in this. Great to see a couple of OTR riders, 3 OTR riders in that new kit, though. Fantastic. Clive Byron would surely be one of them. And as I say, that's been a long time coming, but well done, James Ogilvie, for getting that sorted out. Looks very nice. It gets my seal of approval. Look how spread out this is. This is along the coastal section, already splitting at the front again. And once again, it's Zeb Norman doing the damage. Tim Humpton, his teammate there, Rob Miller, R3R, keeping them in check. I think the group behind is big enough to make the distance though and catch up. I think even as Tim gets up with his teammate, they are going to struggle to hold that with 14 kilometres to go. Rob Miller sinking back into the group, or the group catching him. Either way, it's Alexei Coleman now, the Dane, who's making up the bridging the gap here. He's got in with the front 3. The group still isn't catching up. If they do this one by one, there's a danger that somebody will get caught out at the end. But it's very splintered, isn't it? Somebody else making the junction now. Carl Axel Xander Pedersen now has made the junction, the Swede that I missed out earlier. But nevertheless, it's not a compact group, as the bunch does slowly make its way up to catch up with the R3R rider. Obviously, my friend Rob Miller from Georgia in the USA. One rider off the back, but I think this is going to get back into a packed bunch. 13.7 kilometres to go. Now they're going uphill, 13% up that ramp. This can be an absolute killer. Sometimes people like to get onto that ramp early, just so that if they do lose ground, it's effectively everybody else catching up. You can see the split on there. It's not huge. The ramp's not long. They're back up to 0%. These guys can get back on. One rider got left behind there. 2 riders, in fact, both from R3R. Can they get back on? I think they can if they work together, and they're likely to as teammates. The gap, though, not looking like it's closing. In fact, it might be eking out a little bit. Evans Oysterson and Rob Miller now a little bit off the back, and it's eking out. It's getting further. So this is not great news for the R3R team. 3rd in the championship at the moment, as you know, and this is the gap. We're now up to John Sammer in that Poker Motion kit. Again, another team that's changed their kit with the move to IndieVelo, and this is fantastic. I like that kit as well, by the way. It's a fashion show. A couple of Pokemotion riders in there, as we see Tim Humpton powering away, 1% gradient. We're into the lip of the lake. You can see the water where it settles, so you get that ramp up into the lake, around the edge of the lake. Obviously, the land, as you can see, just to the left of the riders as we look at them, you can see that the rising land is how the lake forms in the gap. Sorry about any background noise. As I say, I am broadcasting from an airport terminal awaiting a flight back to the UK. So the things we do to bring you live streamed, commentated VR racing on IndieVelo. So I do love that OTR kit. I think it's much nicer than the old one. Very well done, whoever designed that. And we see 3 OTR riders in that group. Julian Fussell in there for... this is, of course... not the first group, this is the second group. You see Matt Hammond, Peter Austin in there, Ingmar van Beurs, loving the Southborough District Wheelers. I'll get the words out. This is Julian Fussell, who we're looking at with the black and the yellow and red. It looks very much like a Watford Velo shirt, but it is Southborough District Wheelers, opposite sides of London. 2 great clubs, of course, both of them. So Julian sitting on the back there, he was a bit unlucky, I think, in the first race where he had a dropout, but he's in there with Tony Morton-Lake, Peter Austin and Clive Byham, all riding for OTR. And guess what? Just in front, Craig Jones in their absolutely splendid use of the Welsh national colours in his own kit. We go back to the front. It's Tim Humpton and Morten Vang and Zeb Norman, as it always is. Dan Manillo in there, Alessia Kalman, Jan van der Linden and Ludwig Karlberg. There's a lot of Nordic riders in this, isn't there? Carl Axel, Xander Pedersen and Rob Miller still in there. So Rob Miller, though, 15 seconds behind, I'm afraid. So that gap is eked out a little bit, but there's a long way to go. 11.7. Gordon Jackson from Lancaster. Glad to see you back, Jackson. Gordon. I think Gordon usually plays badminton on a Monday night, so we're very privileged to have him here. And I suspect maybe he was just brought along because he wanted to wear the new OTR strip, and why not? Richard Gay, great to have you back, Richard. Another one of the regular riders. Tim Cummins just behind him for Westerly. We'll be looking at next, I would imagine. So this is Richard Gay. He's pushing out 38 kph, not slow. Tim Cummins in a similar kit, and he's being chased by Frederick Foulon, the Belgian. Is Frederick going to get on? There's somebody else just behind there. Matthias back as well, Fleming back as well. Both coming up in the rear. We're kind of looking now at the front group again. Zeb Norman at the front now. So there's quite a big field in today. I think it's edging towards about 50 riders in here. 44 today, didn't we? So 44 riders in the race. Slightly down on last week, but we'll take that as a decent, healthy number for a bot-free race on IndieVelo. You're watching Monday Malarkey, brought to you by West London VR. Oh, look at all those kids. They are. Oh, I know who they are. They are, I think, maybe the Twickenham riders, because they told me they were all going to get the same kit, and I'm guessing that that's them. They're alongside. I'm pretty sure that'll be the Twickenham guys. I'm just trying to work this out. Nick Coney is definitely a Twickenham rider, and I'm guessing that the whole batch there. Maybe not actually. Maybe not, because they're all Danes. We'll have to see. So no, it doesn't look like a Twickenham kit. So we'll get there in the end. This is Fleming back. So no, this is the ECKD team, isn't it? Basically, are they being sponsored by BMX or something? Yes, it's definitely the Danes wearing that kit, not Twickenham. I know that Twickenham are looking to get a kit, and I see that one Twickenham rider in there. Top Jimmy James back from being abroad himself, so he's back in the action. He's been away for a few weeks. We've been missing you, Jimmy, as well, in the West London team. Back at the front, Tim Hampton putting on pressure at the top, and once again, it's the same names behind, isn't it? Morten Veng and Zeb Norman. I wonder how much Zeb and Tim work together, but they both ride for Electric Spirit. Morten Veng, of course, for Callus. So it's Ludwig Karlberg is the other rider in there, and Electric Spirit very much in the running for this, overtaking another rider. This is because we will be on, I would imagine, the second lap, maybe, I don't know, and a little bit surprised to see us overtaking a rider. Looking at this group, Arlene Davidson going for some points again, and she's in with a couple of Danes there, and that's what I'd expect the ECKD team to be wearing. So the other Danes in the BMX kit, obviously from a different team, we'll check that out for you. So it's not ECKD in the BMX kits, it's the BMX team, clearly. They will no doubt be looking for some points in the team's championship, turning out all kitted out like that. Good luck to them all. If your team's joining late in this series, don't worry. This series is only 12 races long. This is number 3, 9 to go, and then at the start of January we'll be running a whole new series. So bed yourselves in, get your teams in the groove and firing, just like Callus and Electric Spirit are. And R3R, very early adopters. R3R clearly a strong team in Series 1 and dominating things alongside Electric Spirit. So this group now is probably beginning to sort of kind of wonder what it's got to do to thin itself out. We're looking at John Sammet now, and Carl Axel van der Persen is also in this group. So we're looking at Jan van der Linden at the moment. Carl will be the last rider in it, and it's breaking up a little bit, but this is the front group. If it breaks up much more, anybody off the back, and we're looking at Jan van der Linden here, is drifting off the back a little bit. It's not over yet. 8 kilometres to go. Nothing's to be written off now. Oh, Daniel Newberger. I haven't seen Daniel for ages. Fantastic to have you along, Daniel. He's just ahead of Matt Hammond. Oh, I didn't realise Daniel was in the race. So going off the front now, it's Ed Norman, Leslie Kelman. It's the Callus guys and the Electric Spirit guys dominating this race, isn't it? As you can see, the Callus guys in the black kit, and very different to the West London kit, but I have to say Callus are now our suppliers of kit. This is now the group behind now, and this is the one with Rob Miller, the 2 R3R riders in there, Evan Oystensen and Rob Miller, Van Landen in there, Daniel Nieuwsburg. I'm absolutely thrilled to see you, Daniel. I haven't seen you for a while, and I do remember a few series back of the West London VRs that we are just about to finish on RGT. I remember sending Daniel, I think, 3rd place in one of the series. So one of our long-standing riders. Great to have you along, Daniel. Peter Austin, same thing. And as I think I said in the last race, I actually met Peter in real life the other day. So that's the loop, and that's what they'll be racing to the finish now. So we get one last look at that. Front group now down to about 8 or 10 riders, I think, isn't it? So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, it's about 8 riders, 9 riders at the most. 44 still in the race though, with Tim Humpton, Zeb Norman. They've done all the work at the front. Oh, look at Paul Jan van der Linden off the group now on his own. What do? Do you wait for the next group and work with them? 6.8 kilometres to go. Probably what I'd do, but I'm not the man there. So looking at the front group again, Tim Humpton, Zeb Norman, John Sammet. Oh, I'm delighted to see John in there, and Carl Axel van der Persen and Sander Pedersen again, another one of so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 riders in this group, and the winner is going to come from this group. There's no doubt about it now, is there? This is the leading group. Jan van der Linden, as we saw, dropped off. It's down to 8. Rob Miller about to catch Jan, as we look at Jan now going into the Rob Miller group. So who have we got in this group? Rob Miller and Daniel Nieuwsburg, as I said, Evan Oystensen in there also for R3R, Peter Austin from Leatherhead, Eugene Korolev, who we haven't mentioned yet, Julian Fussell, another rider I've actually met and know, Craig Jones. We haven't had enough views of Craig Jones's superb Welsh kit. There it is, look at Craig in the red, green and white. Absolutely brilliant design, Craig. As I think I went on and on about in the last race, so I'll shut up a little bit. Great to see Matt Hammond in there as well. This is Julian Fussell in the Southwood District Wheelers kit, as you can see, STW across the back. OTR in the green and white, Poker Motion in that orange and black. Ratio also riding orange and black as well. and Ratio. There's the Ratio kit. It's more black with a little orange logo on the back, and they're going up that ascent. It suddenly slows them all down, but we go back to the front group, who are descending -3% with 5.6 kilometres to go. And Tim Humpton, as he's done throughout this race, pushing off the front. Electric Spirit now dominating this race. But what are Callas going to do about it? Nothing is certain with 5.3 kilometres to go. This is packed with strong riders. John Sammet from Pokermotion, Morten Veng, Zeb Norman, Alexei Kalman, the Dane, Ludwig Karlberg from Sweden, Carl Axel, Xander Persson from Sweden, Dan Manilo off that group, 8 seconds behind. Carl Axel probably just a little bit at the back there. Stay on there, Carl. We need you in the race. Eugene Korolev, the Russian, further 10 seconds back on Dan, with Rob Miller alongside Eugene. I expect Evans Oystensen in that group as well. So we have 44 riders still in the race. We're looking at the top half a dozen now. Tim Humpton sitting on the back a little bit, taking the wheel, as is Carl Axel. Xander Persson, that's a long name, Carl. Sure, it's important. As we look at these 8 riders now, you can only see 7 in the screen, so I'm kind of guessing that somebody is just a second off the back, but it's Ludwig Karlberg, is it? We'll see at the moment, but 4.4 is getting ever closer to the front. We've gone over all the humps. There's a little bit of a rise before the end. Dan Manalo now is being overtaken by Craig Jones. He's been caught by the next group. The best thing, you need to speed up and get on that group as soon as you can, Dan. Don't let them go past you. I know it takes a bit of effort. Here he goes. You can see Dan working to get back on the group. Absolutely fantastic, Dan. Well done. That's what you need to do. One of the OTR riders coming up to join him is Peter Osten from Leatherhead down there in Surrey, South London. And Evans Oystensen just joining that group as well. And a Ratio rider coming up. It's Ingmar van Pers. We've got to know quite well recently on social media, talking to us. Somebody's off the back a little bit. It's Dan. Dan, you need to get back on that group. It's 42 seconds back to Matt Hammond with 4 kilometres to go. If Matt's in a group, which he's not actually, because Tim Cummins is at 1:16, he could catch you. So I think you might be safe. We're back on the front group now. They're going up a 1% incline. It's 3.7 kilometres to go. They're pumping out 39 kph, 3.6 to go. Nobody giving an inch here, but we're down to the final 6. It whittles itself out a little bit, doesn't it? And who will get this? Tim Humpton, John Sammet, Zeb Norman, Alexei Coleman, Morten Veng, Ludwig Karlberg. It's a different one. It's a difficult one, isn't it? I think there's actually 7 riders in there, because I missed out Carl Axel van der Pedersen. Daniel Nurschber leading the group behind. 7 riders to pick from. Tim Humpton once again pushing off the front. Tim looks in very good form today. I just hope he hasn't burnt too many matches now, because as you can see, the second group, they're not far behind the first group, and it looks like they might be making some progress. Can they do that in 3.1 kilometres? Is Tim Humpton going out too early? He's now he's only a second ahead, but the gap is being closed. Alexei Coleman now from Callas, Morten Veng from Callas as well. Zeb Norman from eSport, 2 Callas, 1 eSport, the Electric Spirit team. Out of this 7 riders contesting this, but the second group isn't a long way behind. Craig Jones only 7 seconds. You can see the gap. Could the second group do this? There are strong riders in the first group. If they play cat and mouse, then the second group might make that up. I don't think they will, but it's possible. But there's going to be a great sprint in this group too, isn't there? Some great names in here. 2 of the R3R riders are going to score top points for them. We've got Pokermotion, Southwood District Wheelers, Ratio Racing, all represented in this group, and Pedalers as well. Daniel Nurschber, I should mention, riding for Pedalers, and I assume they've got a team in now because it's showing up. So basically, you don't need to enter your team in here. If you run a team on IndieVelo, the team points will be picked up automatically in this series, so you don't need to take any positive action other than setting your team up. So delighted to see Pedalers in, and delighted to see Daniel back in the race. We're running out of road though. to the last 3 kilometres, and it's. I think the two groups are now settled. I think you're going to have to accept that if you're in the second group, you ain't going to win the race. But there's going to be a great sprint finish in that for points, both individually and for the teams. Remember, 100 points for the winner, 99 for second, and it doesn't matter if you're a long way behind the rider in front. You only get 1 point less. It's positions, not time. This is, of course, the second group of the R3 riders. Craig Jones, Daniel Lojper, Julian Fussell, all in there. And it's I just hope we can catch both sprints. In fact, what I want is a nice big gap so we can see both sprints at the front. And guess what? Surprise, surprise! It's Tim Humpton on the front. I hope Tim hasn't burnt all his matches on this one. Oh, somebody's going off the front, and I think it might be Karl-Axel van der Pedersen. It is Karl-Axel. He's been sitting on the back. He's gone for a 1.4k. That's quite a long way out. He can do this, and the gap is growing. It's out to 3 seconds now. Back to Zeb Norman and Tim Humpton. I'm guessing they're going to have to work together as a team. 1.2 kilometres to go. It's Karl-Axel van der Pedersen now. He's approaching the Flamme Rouge. The electric Spirit riders chasing him down. You can see the Flamme Rouge now with the red flames coming out of the road. 4 seconds on Zeb Norman now. He's got 1 kilometre to hold this now. Tim Hampton can be very strong at the end. Morten Wenger 2. This second group now, the riders sitting behind Zeb Norman and Tim Hampton, the Electric Spirit riders, letting Electric Spirit do the work, and I think that's going to play into the hands of Karl-Axel van der Pedersen. The other riders are going to settle for not winning, but they let the Electric Spirit riders do the chase. Karl-Axel van der Pedersen now, he's down to 3 seconds though. 600 metres to go. It's out to 4 seconds again though. Suddenly it turns into this 4% rise just before the end. Can Karl maintain that lead? It's down to 3 seconds. Tim Hampton chasing as they go past one of the other riders. It's down to 2 seconds. Karl-Axel van der Pedersen is going to lose his lead. It's Zeb Norman streaming out the front now as the climbers take advantage of it. They are over that ramp. Karl lost his advantage, but maybe Karl gambled that all the way along to just stay in their front group. There's 5 riders now making up the front group, and out the front is Ludwig Karlberg now, the Swede, and he can see the finishing line. He's going to beat Tim Hampton, isn't he? There's not enough road left, 100 odd metres. Tim Hampton's going to lose another place to a Callis rider, I think, and it is Ludwig Karlberg, Alexei Kelman, Tim Hampton of Electric Spirit, Morten Weng for Callis, Zeb Norman for Electric Spirit, John Sammet for Pokemotion, and I'm not sure what happened to Karl-Axel van der Pedersen there. We're looking at the second group now. We're looking at Craig Jones as I'm not sure. Oh, look at this! Oh my goodness, that was tough to call, wasn't it? Craig Jones not winning that one. We'll have to look at the results when they come up. I'm not sure who got what out of that, but that was absolutely fantastic sprint, bunch sprint like that. Too hard for IndieVelo commentator. Here's the results. The top few riders. Karl-Axel van der Pedersen getting 7th, as you'd expect. We're currently watching Peter Austin, who's 43 seconds ahead of Dan Manilow, and will take that position. Whether Dan Manilow gets caught by Matt Hammond, I'm not sure. Tim Cummins has closed the gap on Matt Hammond a little bit, I think, there. We'll come back to that as we watch Peter Austin. As I say, I had the pleasure of meeting Peter after speaking to him for a few years on social media through e-racing. Well done, Peter. Great finish. And glad to see you coming in there. And Dan Manilow now, doesn't look like Dan's particularly sprinting, and Matt Hammond is down to 7 seconds behind. I think Dan needs to go. Maybe he's just feeling that little bit of a rise towards the end. He's got 450 metres to go. You can see the finishing line in the distance. Matt Hammond down to 2 seconds. I think Matt's going to take it, and it's only 24 seconds back to Tim Cummins. And you can see Dan speeding up now. I think he realises that Matt is chasing. He's suddenly down on the handlebars. You can see Matt doing the chase now. I think Dan might just have enough road, and it's out to 3 seconds. Dan responding superbly to protect his position. 90 metres to go, and Dan is going to secure that position safely. So that was all good. Here's Matt Hammond coming in ahead of Tim Cummins, who will come in next for Westerly, and after that, Tony Martin Lake for OTR. Here's Tim in quite a lilac-y sort of. No, it's not lilac, is it? It's I don't know what you call that actually. One of those shades of purple and red, isn't it? So I'm sure I'm sure there's a name for it, and it probably shares the name with a flower or something. But anyway, there we are. Well done, Tim. Great to see you. Great result last Wednesday too, which we spoke about. So here's Tony Merton Lake, and he is riding for OTR. As you can tell, he's got the nice OTR kit on. BMX, so there is a BMX team, isn't it? Dan Cobblecroft. So BMX putting in a whole team there, riding together as a team, which is very, very interesting, isn't it? Maybe that becomes a tactic, but well done the BMX team from Denmark. Well done, Tony Lake. And we start. Oh, one of the BMX riders just been overtaken by Clive Byam from OTR. So the BMX team losing a place. Oh no, fighting back. Go on, Clive. You can just about do it. And he does. Bad luck. Dan Cobblerock finishing just behind. Matthias back. Then I lost track of that a little bit. Matthias back, and it was. Let's see who came next. We're currently watching Christian Brandt, who's another one of the BMX riders. He's going to beat Top Jimmy, but not by a lot, I think. This is Christian Brandt, and it's Top Jimmy. One of the OTR riders overtaking Jimmy as well there. So we'll have to get the results. Matt Hammond was 18th, Tim Cummins 19th, Tony Martin Lake at 20. We have Clive Byham at 21 for OTR. Look at the BMX riders coming in next. Dan Cobber up, Matthias back, and Martin Urum Jacobitson, which is the one I missed, just beating Frederick Fulton, who I haven't mentioned the whole race. I'm sorry about that, Frederick. The Dane riding for R3R. Fleming back, and Christian Brandt. Fleming I know. Christian Brandt I don't, but again, old BMX Fools is their team. Top Jimmy beaten by them for 28th, just ahead of Gordon Jackson from Lancaster in Northern England. As we watch Richard Gate coming in, 31st. Well done, Richard. Great ride. Jürgen North is 30th. As we watch a couple of the ECKD riders coming in, and a lot of Danes in the race. It's fantastic, isn't it? Stephen Bellio, I didn't mention Stephen during the race. Good to see you in there, Steve. You've got Eileen Davidson on your tail. She's fairly strong, you know. I see Stephen Bellio just sitting on it, and he's responding. What's Eileen going to do? I think Eileen's going to let him go. She can finish strongly though, so I wouldn't write it off just yet. Here she goes. She's going for it. I think she's left it a little bit late, or has she? No! This is... Oh, what a fantastic finish. Well done, Aileen. Absolutely brilliant. That was amazing. Well done. 3 more riders coming in here now. 600 metres to go. This is John Simer, who we haven't mentioned yet, and Francis Chalmers, John Jimer, Andy Evans in there riding for West London. Oscar Carosella, great to see you, Oscar. I know you ride on other races on other platforms. And Lisa Snell in there, who's probably going to get second place in the ladies group. We're watching John Jimer now, and Mitya Kosovic riding for R3R. We've got ADR rider, and I can't quite read his name, but it is Angelica. Stefan Angelica is the rider coming in now. Thank you very much, Damon, for switching over. ADR, so it must be one of Marino's mates, Marino Sesson, riding for that same team. Well done, the Italian there. Mitya Kosovic coming in next. It's probably not Kosovic at all, is it? Nick Colney for TS. We're watching Morten Veng. What happened to Morten? Something's obviously gone wrong for Morten because he doesn't finish down there. Francis Chalmers coming in down IndieVelo Fountains Club in the grey jersey, as you can see, just coming up to the Flamme Rouge. Andy Evans behind him. Not sure what happened to Andy today. Maybe somebody stopped there. That's not good news. Somebody else stopped. Oh, that's not good news. Some people have dropped out there. You'll have to see what happened. We'll see when the results come out. So we're watching 800 metres to go for Francis Chalmers. Now just about to overtake somebody by the looks of things. So not sure who you're overtaking. Maybe it's a camera bot. That doesn't make any sense to me. There should be no bots in this. It's a bot-free race. So maybe people just showing up who are on the course but not racing. We'll have to find out what's going on with that. Red light flashing next to Lisa Snell's name. Not 100% sure what that. So we know that the one at the back is Damon. As we go past another rider, again, I'm not really sure. I'm not sure who that is, but there we are. We'll watch Francis finish the race, 40th out of 44. We'll have 43 finishers with a bit of luck, and that will be Andy Evans, Oscar Carcella from Spain, which I'm technically in, as I'm in Mallorca right now. Hola, sorry, Elisa Snell at last position. So I'm shortly going to have to go and check in for my flight so I don't miss it, but hopefully we'll have time to watch all the riders finish. Francis Chalmers now sees the finishing line. As I say, I don't think whoever's ahead is actually in the race, so not totally convinced this is right, because it should be a no bots race, but there we are. The other people on the course certainly weren't affecting the race. So Francis Chalmers racing to the finishing line against somebody, and that's slightly confused me because there shouldn't be any bots in there. Andy Evans now is riding for West London VR. I think Andy's just going to churn this one out. 400 metres to go. You can see the finishing line in the distance along the river or lake or whatever it is there. Looking at some of the results in the bottom left hand corner, Mitya Kovacic was 39th ahead of Francis Chalmers. So I'm not sure who the other rider on the line was. It shouldn't have been a bot, but there we are. Stefan Angelila is Team ADR, one of Marino Sesson's teammates, clearly. 38th, John Jaimer is a British rider at 37th. Stephen Bellio, great to see you, Stephen. Thanks for riding again. 36th, just pipped by Eileen Davidson from Scotland. And Jan Hansen was at 34th as we watch Andy finish. Oh, look at that. He's got the Spanish flag colours. You can do so much with this IndieVelo kit selection, can't you? It's absolutely fantastic. And Oscar Carcella. Now then, that's two, isn't it? Because we've got both the Welsh flag from Craig Jones and Oscar Carcella using the Spanish flag. Absolutely amazing. This is Andy Evans in a West London kit. You can actually wear your club kit if you're a paying subscriber, and if you're not, you have to kind of mock it up and get as close as you can. But there's so many great options on IndieVelo that you can get pretty close to it. So we're watching Lisa at the moment, and great to see you in, Lisa. So this will keep you at the top of the ladies' standings. I know Aileen has probably grabbed another 100 points, which isn't great news for you, but you are teammates, remember, and there's trophies for the top 3 in Ladies League, and it's your best 6 races that count. So 12 races in the series, and we've done 3 now when this one's finished, so there'll be 9 races, so there's plenty of time to score lots of points in the Ladies League. And just watching Lisa coming in, there's quite a long way to go, so I'm afraid I am going to have to leave this one and assume that Oscar and Lisa finish in their respective positions. This is because I am about to go and get a flight. So let's just have a recap of the results if we can before we leave, and then I shall depart for my bag drop. So here we are. The top 10. Ludwig Karlberg, as we saw, and what a top 7 that was, eh? Eugene Korolev just outside the top 7 with Evan Oystenson and Craig Jones, the other guy with the national kit ideas. But the top 7, what a race. Ludwig Karlberg, Alexei Kalman, Tim Humpton, Morten Vang, Zeb Norman, John Samet, Karl-Axel van der Pedersen. Then we saw that wonderful bunch sprint with Eugene Korolov, Evan Oystenson, race 3R, and I'm glad that R3R got some top 10 points to keep them in touch with Electric Spirit and Callas. Callas with 2 riders in the top 10, Electric Spirit with 2 riders in the top 10. Your top 2 riders are what score you points. Look at John Samet clocking them up for Poker Motion still. BL13 for Ludwig Karlberg. So I don't know if we've got any other results that we can put on screen. If not, unusually I'm not going to be able to get the results fully on screen on the website tonight because I'm flying overnight. I will try and do it within 24 hours if I can. Hopefully tomorrow morning when I get up, but I'm not going to be able to put the results on the westlondoncycling.com website tonight, just because I'm immediately going to get on an aeroplane. Rob Miller at 11th, Daniel Nurjper Great to have you back, Daniel. 12th, 13th, Jan van der Linden, another one of our great regular riders. Pokemotion there, getting extra points, 13th there. Julian Fussell clocking him up for SDW, Southwood District Wheelers. Julian, bring some mates along. Yeah, you got some great mates as well. We all know. We went down to see you all. Ingmar van Beurs taking Ratio Racing points at 15th. There, Peter Austin for OTR, and OTR also getting points from Dan Manilow. I don't know if we can go down to the top 20. I think that'll probably do it. Matt Hammond 18th, Tim Cummins at 19th, Tony Martin Lake for OTR, Clive Byron from OTR, and then we get all these old BMX fools. The BMX team, great kit. Sorry I didn't recognise you straight away because you're fairly new to the series, but hopefully you'll be back in every week clocking up points for the BMX team. I'm going to wrap it up there, I'm afraid, because I do have to rush and get a flight. Very unusual. As you can see, I'm actually in Airport Lounge. If you wondered why GT, who races for West London Cycling, wasn't here, that's actually because he's sitting next to me. So GT, not in the race today. He's sitting here next to me. We're both about to get on a flight. We've been cycling in Mallorca. It's been absolutely fantastic. Fantastic having you with us. Fantastic having ZMS with us. ZMS doing so much for eSport broadcasting. It's absolutely fantastic. Thank you, Damon. Thank you to everybody who supports us. Well done to all the OTR guys, our friends from OTR, and everybody making the switch over from RGT to IndieVelo. You have made the right choice. We've been on here now since July. We're in a second series. We've been absolutely delighted with it. Obviously, the first series ironed out a lot of glitches, so as new organisers come in, they will have a very, very smooth platform, I promise you. It's proved fantastic, and the small things that we've had to ask for are relatively minor. I think it's a robust and brilliant platform, and we've got robust and brilliant broadcasters in ZMS too. We'll see you next Monday, or maybe Wednesday, on the penultimate RGT race that we're running as well. But if not, it's Monday malarkey, and we'll see you soon. Bye.